This is DearMamaSal back home again, and I'm pleased to tell you that I actually managed to get a good night's sleep. I did far more last night than I thought I was going to be able to. I managed to get up the extra videos that I thought I would probably not get up until later in the week. I did the wash, or most of it. I've just put one load in to dry now, and really did get a good night's sleep as well, which is awesome, and woke up refreshed, which was unusual for me. The temperature, for those of you who are waiting for it, is 11 degrees here in southern British Columbia, which would make it 52 for those of you who are in northern Washington state. And thank you all for your really fun comments about my brother. Whoever it was that put in the hashtag about him, that really cracked me up. I will try and explain that to him when I send him the next email, because I'm not sure he will understand what that's about. But I thought that was really cute that you created a hashtag. He is going to be very, very busy for the next couple of weeks. He's got a whole itinerary of stuff that he's doing non-stop for, and then, you know, he loves that sort of thing. So that's awesome. And he gets to go and see the glass museum, and you know, lots of big memory stuff. And I'm sure he will send lots of pictures, and I'll for those of you who are interested, I'll gladly add some to the vlogs if any of you would like to see some of the pictures that he takes as he goes and does things in sort of Washington State capital area, in Olympia, which is where he is. But he had a fun trip, and I'm pleased to say that. We obviously had good days and bad days, if you know what I mean. We had good moments and not so good moments. We're brother and sister, for God's sake. But overall, we had a lot of laughs, and that's the main thing. I must say that probably the most challenging was just for us both, was the trip yesterday, when we were trying to get out of Port Townsend. I want to tell you something, that was pretty hairy. You're going down a road that is not what you might call that wide to start with. And there is nothing on the road except trees either side. And you're obviously in a huge forest area, and you have no idea where you are. And if anything goes wrong, there was nothing, you know, there wasn't a store, there wasn't really scary stuff. And then, of course, for me, nowhere to turn around. And I think that's one of the greatest fears one has when you're hauling, so, you know, a rig. And my rig is not particularly that long, right? It's only 40 feet top to toe, you know, with the Jeep and the trailer on the back of it. 38 and a half, whatever it is, but let's call it 40. So, you know, that's okay. But one of the things that I'm sure any of you who have RV'd or know people who do, one of the scariest things is, can I turn around here if I need to? As you're always saying that to yourself. And I must admit, along that road, 90% of my answer was no way. And even the pullouts weren't deep enough that you could go in, take a swing, you know what I mean, take a wide curve and come back out again. But the good news is, made it there, made it back safely. And that, to me, is the sign of a good trip. I cannot tell you the feeling to come through the Canadian border. And you know, you suddenly realize that maybe you should have stopped and picked up some things, because the lady at the border was saying to me, "Did you bring any alcohol back?" No. Did you do any repairs on your trailer while you were down there? I wish I had. You know, I'd love to have been able to fix the problem. Oh, I've just realized something. You know, I said I would need to disconnect the hitch and take it to the hitch shop. Duh! The hitch is attached to the Jeep. I just have to drive. Really? I just have to drive the Jeep to the hitch shop. And they can look at it. Yay! So, I will do that. That's good. Now the joke is the hitch shop's right across the road from where I work. So that is an excellent thing to have for me. So, I just want to say that I heard some incredible things while I was away. Some of them written and some of them verbalized. It was fun to do a broadcast, and I know Jeffrey enjoyed it too, which was surprising to me. I didn't think he would. And as I did do a quick vlog on the way home yesterday, but it was a little sad, so I don't want to put that up for those people who get affected by that. So if you'd like to see the vlog, let me know where I can send the link to, and I will gladly do it. I just don't want to put it up publicly. For those of you who I would be inclined to say, you know, those of you who are regular super fans, I will gladly send you the link, because you know the work that we do, and you will understand it a lot better. I just don't want to upset people unnecessarily, because I was going through some stuff, as only I can, right? And so I look at it and I go, it was really such fun to listen to some of your comments. And I particularly want to say that Paul, the comment that you made just touched my heart. Thank you very much indeed. That was very gracious of you. And it certainly, I think, at some level helped my brother understand not only who I am, but why I do what I do. And for that I'm very, very grateful. And, you know, for those of you who came up with, I think it's Shannon, who came up with these wonderful expressions. If I'm correct, Shannon came up with both glamping, in other words, glamorized camping, and the voyage to Guems. So obviously we have a very creative mind there, one that I shall enjoy receiving many more comments from, because they actually make me burst out laughing. And I have to tell you, Shannon, that when I was laying the damask tablecloth, you know, a beautiful white tablecloth out, you know, not the plastic one, but the beautiful white one, when I was laying that out on the, hang on, all my mirrors are set for trailers, not for car, just regular driving. When I was laying that table at that state park, I just said, oh, hang on, we're going to do some glamping now. And I realized that I'd caught this word in my mind and I was using it. So I really am very, very grateful. And I think the voyage to Guems really just, Guemis, whatever. I've got to find out what's the right pronunciation of it. It just really touched my soul. Because it was just like, you know, dropped the car onto the ferry. It was quite a drop. I don't know if you just a clunk onto the ferry. And then, you know, this little 5-minute ride across the bay, and then boom, there we were in the island from nowhere. And that you really did expect, you know, Gilligan and his team, for those of you who are old enough to remember Gilligan's Island, you did expect them to pop out of nowhere. Which would have been fun. So that obviously was a great memory, and I'm really glad Jeff suggested we do that trip, because it was good. I think watching the watching the Stanley Cup final in a local bowling alley was for me fun anyway. And it was, you know, the one treat I had for myself, which I really enjoyed. And meeting the locals and doing those things. Jeff was, I think, upset that he didn't bowl, but I didn't stop him from bowling. I just wanted to watch the Stanley Cup. So then, what else did I remember that we laughed a lot? I think really what the interest is that, you know, he really did enjoy taking what I call the Kodak moment shots. And for those of you who know camping, I have blocks that I put underneath the wheels to stop them rolling forward, for example, if you have to park on a hill or something for some reason. And, you know, and he asked that I take a picture of him, because he took those blocks and had me take a picture of him in the starting position, like he's about to run the 100 yards or something. And that was quite a cute picture. And I'm sorry I didn't get it for you, but I'll ask him to, or when he puts it up, which he will on his Facebook, I'll show it to you. And there were sort of, you know, little shots like that he really enjoyed. And I thought that you would have enjoyed some of his moments, I must admit, because he does, as you all said, he does have a wonderful sense of humor, and that's one side of him that really is delightful. I think that we are both very lucky in that we have this, what I call, we see a lot of fun things in our lives, and we react to them in a humorous way. And that's actually a memory, was when we were in the Canadian customs. And they asked us this one question, and they did it with a smile. You know, in other words, they were being funny with us. Goodness only knows why. Whoever heard of that? And we were in the American customs, and that's why I was so shocked. But they were being funny with us, and they just asked this one question, and we both had this quirky answer to it. And we both answered exactly the same thing at exactly the same time. And we looked at each other and went, brother and sister. Because there is only one way that could ever happen. You either had to be married, or you had to be related. Do you know what I'm talking about there? Where you get to... You've heard that expression so many times it automatically comes out of your mouth. And so that was really quite funny. And it was the first time ever that I've had a border guard, you know, escort you back to the trailer whilst telling you jokes, and then stop the traffic for you so you could cross over the customs traffic. It was like, what did we do here? And it was interesting, because I was telling Yvonne the story, and she thinks it was because I kept telling my brother to shut up. And I said, you know, they got cameras on you everywhere here, and microphones. Please do not get funny with these people. You know, treat them with a lot of respect, you know, because if you don't, we'll be in jail. And it was so cute, because Yvonne thinks they actually heard me say it about 6 times. And thinks that the reason we ended up with 3 border people with us is they were the ones that wanted to hear this sense of humor. And they definitely gave him the lines that let him do it. I mean, I must admit, I was quite surprised. So that was a good memory too. So quite honestly, overall, except for the little blip right at the end, which had nothing to do with my brother. You know, it was a great trip. It was, you know, and I say a great trip, it was very disappointing that the views I thought we were going to get, we didn't get because the road didn't allow for them. It was really quite weird. I mean, you've got a beautiful scenic route through the Gulf Islands, and they don't give you the little view. Now, with all due respect, any intelligent tourist place would cut down a few trees and have a few pull-outs where you could stop and have, you know, a moment. So, never mind. Deception Pass, what I did was I found a really beautiful picture online on Google Photos. And for those of you who like to Google Deception Pass, and you will see a wonderful overhead shot of where we were. The only problem was we couldn't see a damn thing because it was so overcast. So that was really sad. But I sent it to him, and he's, you know, when he saw that overhead, then he really understood why I wanted to take him across there, because it really should have been a most beautiful sight for him. The weather, as I, you know, was sort of not bad, not brilliant, but not bad. So that was good. I think the overall impression that I had, for example, of the campsite was, and I've said it before, was the quietest campsite I have ever been to in my life. And I don't know whether that's because they cater to big rigs. Now, there were some big rigs there with children, but those children, I don't know, we just lucky or what, but those children were so well behaved, the ones that we went close to. But generally the place was immaculate. You know, the washrooms were immaculate. They were obviously very well cleaned and regularly. You know, there was no put money in for showers and stuff. That was all part of the price. They did ask you to limit your showers to 10 minutes each, which I thought was pretty generous. And I'm going, who takes a 10-minute shower? I mean, what do people do in the shower for 10 minutes? Don't tell me, I don't want to know. And so, you know, the one thing that was interesting I should have got a picture of that for you, but the one thing that I did find interesting was all their washers and dryers had notes on them saying, do not put anything in here that has pet hair on it. And, you know, I thought, gosh, that would be difficult. I wouldn't be able to do any washing there. Because I think it would take years for me to get the pet hair out of my trailer or my car. Hey, remind me I've got to lift up the rugs and clean underneath them. Forgot about that. I should have done that when I was away. That would have been quite funny. I should have lifted that and shown you what was underneath there. Anyway, I'm very close to work, so I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to send you all a big virtual hug. Carrie, if you're listening to this, sweetie, hang in there. I know you've had a tough week as well, so I'm going to just send you an extra hug, and know that you did the right thing. And understand, Carrie, just go back and relook at the cycle of loss, because you will go through all that emotion as I did yesterday. You know, you'll go through anger and sadness and all those things just by virtue of what happens. So just hang in there. And for those of you who are in touch with Carrie outside of the broadcast, please send her a few extra hugs and give us some support. because she could do with it. And other than that, have a great day. Bye-bye for now.